Hey there, guys. Chet here. I need to talk to every business owner, and I do it every single week. They're completely burned out, right? They spend half of their day manually copying and pasting data, typing out the exact same emails, and trying to remember who they're supposed to call next. They use Pipedrive as a digital filing cabinet, but they completely ignore the robotic manager built right into the system. Today, I'm going to show you 10 real world automations that I actually use in my own business. These are not just concepts, these are the exact workflows that save me hours of manual labor every single week and prevent my leads from falling through the cracks. Before I reveal these 10 workflows, I want to give you a special offer. If you check the description below, you'll find a link for an exclusive 30-day free trial of Pipedrive. If you go directly to their website, they only give you 14 days. My link will give you a full month to build and test these exact automations completely free. And then if you decide to keep using it after the trial, that discount gets applied automatically when you sign up through my link, which means you'll be using the same powerful Pipedrive for less than what others pay. I've also linked my totally free Pipedrive Masterclass to help you set up your account perfectly from day one. Make sure to grab those links right now. All right, we're going to start with one of the most frustrating parts of sales. You schedule an introductory call with a prospect. You sit on Zoom for 15 minutes and they completely ghost you. It happens to everyone. Normally, you have to open your email, type out a message asking what happened, and then manually mark the deal as lost in your CRM. I've automated this entire process. I built a simple rule that watches rather for whenever I manually drag a deal into my lost column and select the specific reason no show. The exact second I do that, Pipedrive automatically sends an email directly to the prospect. It uses a template that says, "Hi there, I was waiting on Zoom, but you did not show up. How should we proceed from here?" I do not have to type a single word. I just drag the deal to the trash, and the software handles the awkward follow up for me. The second automation is actually a sequence of three different rules that kind of work together. This is how I manage my cold outreach. When a brand new lead enters my prospect stage, the software immediately logs that initial introductory email was sent. But more importantly, it instantly creates a future task assigned to my assistant. That task tells her to send a second follow up email exactly 2 days later. She does not have to remember to do it because the task automatically appears on her daily list. This brings us to the next step of the sequence. When my assistant finishes that second email and clicks done on her task, the software wakes up again. It immediately creates a third and final task for her, scheduled for exactly 5 days later, telling her to send the final breakup email, which creates a flawless follow up chain. My assistant just logs in every morning and executes the tasks on her screen. She never has to wonder who she should be emailing today because the software is managing the entire timeline automatically. This is the final piece of the outreach sequence. Let us say my assistant sends that final breakup email. And then she marks the third task as complete. The software looks at the deal. If the prospect still has not booked a meeting with us, it means they are completely ignoring us. Instead of letting that dead deal clutter up my pipeline, the software automatically marks the deal as lost. It selects the exact reason did not book intro call, and then the entire process from the first chase to the final rejection is handled by the system without me ever looking at it. If you sell a subscription or an annual contract, you absolutely must use this automation. I sell software subscriptions that renew every single year. The worst thing you can do is forget to call your client when their contract is about to expire. I built a rule that watches for whenever I win a subscription deal. The second I mark it as won, the software magically duplicates the entire deal. It creates a brand new copy and places it into a special upcoming renewals pipeline. Then it automatically schedules a task for exactly 11 months in the future. It tells me to call the client to discuss their renewal, and then I can close the deal today and completely forget about it, knowing the software will tap me on the shoulder in 11 months. Sometimes you're talking to a client about one service, and then they suddenly mention they want to buy something else, right? This happens. For example, I might be talking to a client about a consulting project, and then they mention they also want to buy a software license. I now need two separate deals to track the two different revenue streams. Instead of manually clicking through menus to create a second deal, I use a simple label. I built an automation that watches for a specific tag called bundle. While I'm on the phone with the client, I just click the bundle tag on their consulting deal. The software instantly creates a brand new separate deal for the software license, puts it in the correct pipeline, and generates a task telling me to send them a quote. It saves me 5 minutes of boring administrative clicking. If you connect your Pipedrive calendar to your Google Calendar, you might notice that your appointments look very messy. When you schedule a call in Pipedrive, the default title is usually the name of the deal, which can be confusing when you look at your phone on the weekend. I built a quick automation that fixes this instantly. Whenever I schedule a new call activity, the software automatically renames the event. It changes the title to say call and then inserts the actual first and last name of the person. that I'm speaking to, of course. It sounds like a tiny detail, but it makes my Google Calendar look incredibly clean and professional. One of the biggest problems with sales teams is that they forget to fill out custom fields. I have a custom field that tracks which contractor is working on a specific project. I used to always forget to fill that out, but to fix this, I built an automation that reads my mind, right? If I'm working on a deal and I add the word Zapier to the title of the deal, the software instantly knows what's going on. It automatically fills in the custom field, assigning the project to my specific Zapier expert, and it changes the revenue model to consulting. I don't have to scroll down and click on those fields manually. The software just does it for me based on the title. When a deal gets close to the finish line, there's usually a lot of paperwork that needs to happen. So when I move my deal into the ready to proceed stage, I need to send a reseller agreement, fill out an order form, and register the deal with my partners. Instead of relying on my memory, I built an automation that creates an instant checklist. The exact second that I drag the deal into that final stage, the software generates three separate activities and assigns them to me. I cannot forget a single step, right? Because the tasks are literally blocking my screen until I finish them. This is the absolute best way to train brand new employees without having to stand over their shoulder. And now, my final automation is all about keeping your database beautiful. When you create a new deal in Pipedrive, the software usually just names it John Smith Deal. If you have 2,000 deals in your system, finding the right one becomes impossible if they have common names, right? If they've got John Smith, that's a pretty common name. I built an automation that forces a perfect naming convention. Whenever I create a new deal in my software pipeline, the system instantly renames it. It grabs the name of the client's company, adds a colon, and then types software subscription. So it instantly becomes Wayne Enterprises software subscription. I never have to type it manually, and my entire database looks perfectly organized. What a sigh of relief. When you look at these 10 automations individually, they might just look like small shortcuts, but when you combine all of them together, you are saving hours of manual data entry every single week. More importantly, you're completely removing human error from your business. The software never forgets to follow up. The software never spells a name wrong. Stop doing robotic work and start letting the robot do it for you. Click the link in the description right now to grab your extended 30-day free trial of Pipedrive. You can log in and build every single one of these automations today. And make sure to check out my free training course linked below so that you can master that workflow builder. Go automate your business. I'll see you in the next video.